Hello and welcome back to another episode of Field Vision with Coach Clinton. I'm your host, Bryan Clinton, contributor over at OUinsider.com. And today we are talking BYU. Oklahoma's headed up to Provo this Saturday to take on the Cougars. It'll be Oklahoma's first game in the state of Utah. Will also be the first game Oklahoma has played this early. Oklahoma will kick off officially at 10:07 a.m. local time, which is just incredible to think about. They've had one game in the past, I believe the Cotton Bowl in 2002. 10:10 was the kickoff time there, so this is unprecedented, but I don't think Oklahoma's too upset about that. The Sooners, especially under Brent Venables, seem to really enjoy playing those early games. So, with that being said, here's what you need to know about BYU before we get into some of the film. BYU's offense has not been good. They simply put, they've struggled this season. They're averaging 21.9 points per game. That is dead last in the Big 12. They also are averaging just 300 yards total on the ground, or on offense total, which is also dead last in the Big 12. Defensively, they haven't been much better. They are 12th in scoring defense. In the conference, they are allowing 28.7 points per game, and they are 13th, allowing 414.1 yards per game. This is just a team that has really struggled. They are averaging just 90.5 rushing yards per game. That is 124th in the country, dead last in the Big 12. And then they are giving up 180.6 yards per game on the ground, which is 12th again in the conference. So when you look at what BYU presents, this is really a game where Oklahoma should, quite frankly, they should run away with this one. I'm not going to overthink this. This is a game that if Oklahoma shows up for, if the team that we saw last week against West Virginia comes to Provo, Oklahoma wins this game going away. They may not even allow anything more than single digits, if a point whatsoever, if they play the way that they did last week. So don't overthink it. This is a game that the Oklahoma should control from beginning to end. It's just a matter of will they do that. So let's jump into what we saw from them last week. They played Iowa State, who just went up there and manhandled the Cougars. When I watched the film, I watched their previous game. It was a disastrous start. So they fumble the opening kick and recover it. And then their first offensive play after recovering that was an interception. Iowa State scored a touchdown 3 plays later, make it 7-0. Then on the ensuing kickoff after that score, Iowa State did a little bit like a little pooch kick and had one of their upbacks catch it. He did not fair catch it. Catches the ball, tries to return it. He fumbles it. Iowa State jumps on top of this one. So you've got three times that BYU had touched the ball, and all 3 times that they touched it, they had turned it over or put it on the ground. So Iowa State puts another 3 on. It's 10-0 before BYU can even get its first offensive drive going. And so that's where we're going to pick up on the film here, is the first sustained drive that BYU puts together. So this first play we're looking at here is a run play. And again, this is not a team that has run the ball well this season, but that's what got them in the end zone on this first drive. And you'll see we've got 2nd and 2 here. Ball is at the negative 33-yard line. And we've got a quick pitch out here to Aiden Robbins, who is their best running back. Him and number 2, Roberts, are their best offensive playmakers. Whether or not Keaton Slovis is in the game, those are going to be the 2 guys that are getting fed the ball pretty heavily. And so you're going to see a really interesting concept. You see the offensive linemen, they're worried about getting wide, and they leave 52 alone untouched. Your play side tackle is going to bubble out and try and lock off this linebacker first threat here, and then you see the others kind of work. They work themselves up to backer and try and wall them off. Where 52 comes into play is you're going to see Retzlaff, the quarterback here. He is going to occupy 52 just long enough for him to hesitate, which creates space for Robbins to work, and then he's got the entire field out there to work with. So he makes a guy miss, ends up picking up 36 on the play. Big run play for them, got them back in the game for the time being, as you'll see here in just a bit, and they were able to get some juice going offensively and move the ball. All right, next play here. We've got 3rd and 2, just a few plays after what we just watched, and this is kind of it almost has like a triple option look. So you're going to see an up back, a halfback there, and then a tight end there on the end of the line of scrimmage for them, offset, and they're going to run all kinds of misdirection here on this play. And what it is, so it appears that the quarterback is reading the end of the line of scrimmage, likes the numbers he sees there, and decides to keep it here. You've obviously got a jet sweep looking thing there with the wide receiver who's faking, and then obviously his option there is with the running back. He decides to keep it here, is able to get around the corner, and sets them up 1st and goal. And what makes this play here is they get 17, Bo Friedler, and 7. They get them to bite inside, and he's able to work outside and gives them plenty of space to run. So if Retzlaff is the guy that goes, which I believe it is going to be Slovis, if Retzlaff is the guy that goes, he is a threat to run the football. But he's not anything like Jason Bean or Garrett Green or some of the guys that Oklahoma's seen to this point in the year. He's certainly not. He's certainly not those guys. So, and then on the touchdown pass here, which is just a couple of plays later, this is their one score of the game, or their one touchdown of the game. You're going to see BYU run just a simple RPO. You've got 13 here running. He runs a quick slant, and they're reading the linebacker there. He steps up into the run fit. 23 is out of place, and quarterback's able to make an easy throw, really easy read, touchdown. And so again, BYU is not explosive offensively. When given the opportunities, they have been efficient at times, but there really just hasn't been all that many opportunities for them this season. They tend to get behind the chains, don't do a very good job capitalizing on things, and their offensive line really just has been pretty poor. They don't make a whole lot of space in the running game, and that continued to be the case as this game pressed on against Iowa State. All right, first defensive play. This is right after the ensuing kickoff, after BYU gets this game back within one score. And very first play out of that, you're going to see Tyler Batty, 92, who is their vocal leader, their defensive leader. He's also their sack leader on the year. He just whoops 63, the center here, just comes right through him. Bad technique from 63 anyhow, but he's able to come right through him and picks up a sack against Iowa State, who has been one of the best in the Big 12 at keeping their quarterback clean. So that's going to be a guy on the interior of the offensive line that Oklahoma is going to have to be aware of. You're going to have to see a lot of good stuff from Andrew Rame and Caden Green and the guys who are at guard there. Okay, we're going to look at a second defensive play here, and we've got Iowa State ball, 2nd and 4, just 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Ball is on the positive 45-yard line. And this is another trend that you notice with BYU. They like to stack the box. They like to be aggressive. They bring lots of pressure, and sometimes it bites back. It gives them They've got too many guys inside, and it allows the outer portions of the field to be open for all kinds of space for playmakers to run. This is one of those cases you see just a simple pin pull play from Iowa State here, and on 2nd and 4, they end up taking this for a gain of 15. And this is just one of those when you can kind of tell alignment wise they've got too many guys in here, and with how effective Iowa State was offensively running the football, this is just one of those, the numbers don't match up, and it made it really easy for the Cyclones to do what they wanted to, especially in this play. So you've got too many guys there in the box, and it makes that pin pull action just really easy for them. All right, another defensive play. I think you're gonna notice the trend here pretty quickly defensively, that Iowa State, or that BYU's aggression, while it does help them at times get some teams off the field, it seemed to hurt them more often than not. Here's another one where you've got pressure dialed up, and you've got a tight end screen set up behind it, and credit to Batty, he ends up coming in and making the tackle, or helping make the tackle, but he plays this pretty bad. He loses sight of where his guy's at, and it ends up giving up a first down on 3rd and 10. This is an opportunity for them to at least force a field goal try from Iowa State. Iowa State's able to extend the drive, and they end up going in and scoring just a couple of plays later after that. So the aggression, while it does seem to help them, and that's what they're going to do, it also seems to be a detriment more often than not, especially in this game. So expect Oklahoma to take cue of that, and you'll see it again here on this next play. Just look at how many guys you've got. 10 guys in the box here. There are 10 guys within 7 yards of the football here, and the alignment just doesn't look right. And Iowa State makes it. This is really easy. All they do, they throw it to Noel, who's got good speed. He gets the edge, and then he's just out the gate, gone. That's 65 yards or 66 yards for 6. I mean, it was really easy, and he didn't have to do much other than just catch the ball and turn once. There was nobody around him, and he's not touched the entire way. That's just bad alignment. And the matchup there, 13 on 5, is not what you want if you're BYU anyways. So they need to get some alignment things figured out, and I would expect, with what we see from Jeff Lebby as far as matchups go, I'd be really surprised if there wasn't some stuff that looks similar to this come this week when Oklahoma heads up there. All right. Let's look at one more defensive play, and then we're going to look at an offensive. We're going to look at an offensive sequence that does a pretty good job of explaining what BYU has been this season offensively. Okay, so again, let's pause this real quick. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in the view here. 10 guys in the box, and we've got a safety back deep. And again, when you've got that many guys up close to the football, if you don't make the tackle, if you're not a sure tackling team, it leaves a lot of space for them to work in the back end. And this is just another example. They end up taking this one for another long touchdown. And all this is just an easy zone with a tight end kind of insert in there. And despite all the bodies up the line of scrimmage, nobody's there to help over the top. 10 kind of gets sucked inside. The linebacker there gets sucked inside and is expecting something to come of it, and they're out of position, and Iowa State takes advantage of it once again. So the run game there for Oklahoma, the run game should really be there for the Sooners this week. They should have opportunities to get Gavin Sawchuk going once again, and I would be surprised if they don't really hammer that home this week when Oklahoma's on offense. All right. Defensively here, we're going to look at BYU in deep in the red zone here, and Oklahoma, which we all know has been really good in goal line situations. That's kind of what Iowa State has gotten themselves into here defensively. Uh, this game is already, this is the final score, 45-13 here. So there's 3 minutes left in the game, and there's not another point scored here from going on out from here. So 1st and 10, you see BYU dials up play action. They're trying to get to the ball here. He's double covered, and Iowa State does a good job of just keeping all the options closed there and forces Retzlaff to try and make a play with his legs. He does a decent job of that. He ends up picking up a few, gets them set up at 2nd and 7, and then they run this kind of, it's the same style, same look that they had earlier in the game with a kind of a split zone. It looks kind of like a split zone with a quarterback's potential to keep it, but he hands off kind of on the counter play, and they end up picking up a good chunk here. I believe they set themselves up 3rd and 1 by the time he's forced out, and it's, I mean, the one, we're talking about inches here. They are just barely short of the line to gain, and so on 3rd and 1, they call this little kind of a trick play. It's kind of a tight end reverse, and they're just going to hand the ball off to 42 as he's in motion. They've got the numbers out there, but 42 just falls. They've got long grass. It's I mean, it's field turf at this point. It's real grass. It's not artificial turf, but it's long. It's, at this point in the season, it's pretty slippery. You see guys slipping all over the place in this game, and this is another point where that happens. So they lose 2, becomes 4th and 3, and they're going to run. They're going to run this little, not really a gadget play. They use 82 in motion. They bring him across and then back, and it's almost like, it's not quite a sprint out, but they are running like a flood concept out here with a high-low for Retzlaff to make a read, and 27 just ends up, he needs 3 and he gets 2, and it's a tough situation for BYU. It wasn't that long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, Oklahoma kind of had the same situation on a fourth and manageable. This is kind of a similar play to what we saw from OU. I don't know why teams continue to run this with it cutting half the field off, but that seems to be a trend here. The more disappointing part on this is 83. If Retzlaff can find a way to get 83 the ball, he probably scores on this play, given how wide Freeler has gotten at this point. But that's just how it works. Unfortunately, the play call didn't work, and BYU does not pick up any points on that. And as I said, the entire 15 minutes of the 4th quarter, there was not a point scored. So tough showing for BYU. The final score in that one, obviously 45-13, as we said. With Oklahoma coming to town, look, if the team that shows up last week, shows up in Norman last week, shows up this week in Provo, this game won't be close. It won't be close from the get, and I'd be really surprised if this is a game that Oklahoma doesn't show up and play well in, considering the steps I feel like they took as a team last week. So look for Drake Stoops to get the ball a lot in space, which has been obviously a thing over the last couple of weeks, but I also think the running game is going to have a really good chance to get going. And then defensively, BYU has just not done a good job running the football, so I think that Oklahoma's pass rushers are going to have an opportunity to get after the quarterback, just with there being little to no real threat in the running game. And then, as far as tackles for loss, they should be there. This should be a really good statistical game for the Sooners, and I think they're going to win this one pretty big. So thank you guys again for checking these videos out. We really enjoy doing them. Hope you guys are learning something every week, and we're going to continue doing them. They haven't shut me down yet, so I'm going to keep on rolling. And let us know in the comments what you guys think. Let us know your score predictions for the OU BYU game. And if you're going to be up there, make sure you're coming and checking out the OU Insider tailgate. We are going to have a tailgate set up in Provo, so make sure you come by and see us before or after the game, and we will see you guys up there. Once again, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you out there next time.